Welcome to our presentation, Hagen-Dazs in Paris, Analyzing an International Business Model, by Anika Ellie, Caroline Chisholm, Alessandra Delfonso, and Lizzie Hamrick.
Hi, this is Caroline. I'm going to start my portion of the presentation with just a really brief history of Hagen-Dazs as a company. So it was started in 1960 by Ruben Mattis, and you can see a picture of Mattis here on the right. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing his last name correctly. And he began with just 3 flavors, chocolate, vanilla, and coffee. And it actually took him 6 years before he added a 4th flavor to the line, which was strawberry. So he stuck with the classics there in the beginning. It wasn't until 16 years later, in 1976, that the first Hagen-Dazs shop was opened by his daughter in Brooklyn Heights, New York. So we were really surprised initially to find out that Hagen-Dazs actually is an American company, because when you hear its name and you see the name written, you immediately assume that it's a Danish company. And Ruben actually did choose the name as a tribute to Denmark for its exemplary treatment of its Jews during World War II. However, the name just sounds Danish. It's not actually Danish and has no real meaning. From there, Hagen-Dazs expanded into what it's known as today. It went through several different acquisitions, but is now owned by General Mills and operates more than 900 shops in 50 different countries, and has expanded beyond ice cream to offer a wide array of ice cream-related products and other desserts. Most notably, it has a line of ice cream bars that are very popular, as well as it recently expanded into gelato and has several different country-specific products that it offers, which we'll take a look at a little bit later in my portion of the presentation. My contribution to the project mainly had to do with visiting different Hagen-Dazs locations throughout Paris. So during my time there, I visited 4 different Hagen-Dazs locations. I, of course, visited our main location near the Notre Dame. I also visited a location that was actually just a few blocks from there in the Latin Quarter. I visited a location in Montmartre across from the Sacré-Cœur, and then my final location was right across the street from the Louvre, kind of on a back street by the Louvre. And I was really surprised at the amount of diversity at the different Hagen-Dazs locations. So our main location offered crepes and waffles. The location in the Latin Quarter didn't offer any special products at all outside of their standard ice cream and coffees. And then as well as the location in Montmartre, and then the location in the Louvre, I was very surprised to find actually was 2 stories. The bottom story had a small coffee bar with an espresso machine by the ice cream station, and then the top floor was almost seemed like a fine dining restaurant, which after looking up this location on Yelp actually has this location listed as ultra high-end with $4 signs next to the price point. So I'm not sure if the $4 signs was being a little bit facetious, but here on the right you see an example of the types of products that are offered in this more high-end Hagen-Dazs. So it's still the ice cream, but with a more upscale presentation. The upstairs of the Hagen-Dazs actually had white tablecloths on the tables and black leather chairs and hardcover menus. So it really, the presentation of the products in this Hagen-Dazs location was completely different than any other Hagen-Dazs location that I visited. So Anika's going to talk a little bit later in her presentation about the resolution of this rich point and how Hagen-Dazs locations or franchises can go about choosing which products they want to offer in their shops.
Looking at the Hagen-Dazs location specification, the majority of the shops are located in touristic areas such as Notre Dame, Le Louvre, La Tour Eiffel, Les Champs-Élysées. And in these areas also prices are higher compared to areas with no attractions, and especially in the suburbs located around the city, where not only the prices are lower, but also the shops are less common. So we can say that Hagen-Dazs is more popular in those areas with a higher number of tourists in Paris. Talking about Hagen-Dazs, there is another aspect that needs to be considered, which is the classification of customers. I divided customers by age and by nationality. Looking at the age, I noticed that a lot of customers were young people, such as young couples with or without kids. And looking at the nationality, I here noticed that the majority of customers were especially Asians, and less Europeans, North Americans, and South Americans. Actually, there is an explanation for that, and I also spoke with a lot of Asians that I met on Hagen-Dazs shops. And I asked them why they love these gelatos so much. And they told me that this type of ice cream is not common in their countries. And so they were willing to try something new and excited about this new thing and the possibility to have a new eating experience.
Hi, this is Anika. My focus for this project was on the primary location that we chose for our project. It's a Hagen-Dazs franchise located at Rue d'Arcole in the 4th arrondissement of Paris. Because of its location, it gets a lot of foot traffic from tourists, but it is also popular amongst high school students for a quick afternoon snack. The location was chosen wisely and carefully for the owner by her husband. The entire time that a pedestrian crosses the river towards Rue d'Arcole, the pedestrian has a clear view of Hagen-Dazs. So as mentioned earlier, one of the interesting aspects of our chosen location was that it actually had a crate stand located right near the entrance of the store on the street. And upon chatting with the franchise owner, Anika learned that there's actually a strategic purpose behind this, and that is the crate stand gave tourists who were passing by a chance to stop in and try something quintessentially Parisian, but that also had the familiarity of a well-known brand name behind it. It was also great during colder winter months when a warm crepe was often more appetizing than a large cup of cold ice cream. Starting a franchise with Hagen-Dazs includes a lot of upfront costs. The owner mentioned in particular that she had to pay not only for the franchise location, but also for all the equipment down to the silverware. Hagen-Dazs also collects consumer data per quarter. The crepe station mentioned before was not difficult to set up, but it did require special permission and had added fees. The owner of the franchise is not always present. The store is managed by a cashier, 1 or 2 ice cream servers, a crepe maker, and a manager. The ice cream servers are polite but not particularly professional. The managers keep them in check.
This is Lizzie. I will be discussing my grocery store research. In the 14 grocery stores I visited, I discovered that these stores sold 3 different product types, which are your pints, your packs of 4 mini cups, and your ice cream popsicles. And they're all pictured in the picture on the slide. The pint and popsicle are at the front, and the pack of 4 mini cups is at the back. You can see what a little mini cups sneaking out. So those are the 3 product types, and of those 3 product types, there are 8 different products. So, or total, there are 8 different products consisting of one of those 3 product types. So we've got, for our pints, there are 4 different flavors of pints. Right here, vanilla caramel brownie, and chocolate. What is it called again? Chocolate fondant, excuse me. And then there are 3 different packs of mini cups. Favorite selection, caramel attraction, and macadamia nut brittle. Favorite selection has 4 different flavors. Caramel attraction has 3 different flavors, all of them caramel based, and then the macadamia nut brittle is just all macadamia nut brittle. And then the 8th product is the macadamia nut ice cream pop. It was the only flavor of ice cream pop that I saw, and I actually only saw ice cream popsicle, excuse me, and I actually only saw one ice cream popsicles. Only saw ice cream popsicles being served in one of the stores, or being sold in one of the stores. Then there are your flavors. Of all the stores I went to, there's 7 basic. There are 7 flavors and 4 basic flavors. What I mean by that is there's 7 flavors, which are vanilla, caramel, chocolate fondant, cookies and cream, vanilla caramel brownie, macadamia nut brittle, and dulce de leche. But for basic flavors, you've only got vanilla caramel, chocolate fondant, and cookies and cream, because the vanilla caramel brownie falls under a vanilla and a caramel flavor, and then macadamia nut brittle is technically a vanilla flavor, and dulce de leche is technically a caramel flavor. So you've got 7 flavors, but you've got 4 sort of like base flavors. So I'm just going to go through quickly each of these sort of graphs that I came up with after putting all my data into Excel and pulling up some, images that I think would be good representation of the flavor and product research I did in these grocery stores. The one thing I just want to mention first is sort of the same rich point that Caroline mentioned in the Hagen-Dazs shops, or the Hagen-Dazs ice cream shops, is that each shop had a different assortment of flavors. That was the same with my grocery store research. Each grocery store had its own assortment of flavors, and I never found one consistent flavor, or I found a consistent flavor, but I never found one consistent product that I saw in each and every grocery store. So, just displaying that first, we're going to go clockwise, starting in the upper left corner. Frequency of products in each store. You can see by this graph that there were, when I say there was no one product that was in each and every store, you can see that in this graph. The most consistent product was vanilla, the pint of vanilla at about 71%, and then that was followed by the caramel attraction 4-pack and the macadamia nut brittle 4-pack. And caramel pint and favorite selection, I think, are all tied in there. But the point is, the different products varied in terms of their frequency in each store. Also on the products, the total instances of product types observed. This is just something I wanted to point out because I saw pints and 4-packs an equal amount of times. But that being said, there were pints in every single store, and 4-packs were only, there were 2 stores that didn't carry 4-packs. But when I counted the total amount of product types, I saw the same amount. So like a few stores would have 2 pint flavors and 3 4-pack flavors, and that's how I got those numbers. then I also have so following this frequency of product type in each store, this is what I'm talking about. So I saw if total instances were the same of pints and 4-packs, excuse me, but every single store I went to carried pints, not every single store I went to carried 4-packs. So then making our way down clockwise, there's a frequency of flavor in each store. You'll see that caramel, vanilla, vanilla caramel brownie, and dulce de leche had the highest frequencies in each store, and this plays on a theme that I'll come back to in my next slide. And then total instances of flavors observed. So this is the flavor, is not the actual. This is the total instances, not the actual frequency. So that's caramel, macadamia nut brittle, and vanilla are your top 3. Okay, just to wrap up on and give you a summary of, the conclusions I came to after my grocery store research. The flavor offerings in the grocery stores themselves, but in Paris and then France, as Paris is a city and France is a country, they're kept very simple. There are 7. I observed 7 total flavors in 14 different stores. And then, which made me think that it was a simple product offering, and then I checked the French website, and on the website, the product flavors are their totals about 18 different product flavors. That's as opposed to 38 in the U.S. So they've kept it simple for this French market. Also, I realized that vanilla and caramel are the flavors of choice. You've got 7 different flavors, but of those flavors, 5 of them sort of fall under these base flavors of caramel and vanilla. And all of those caramel and vanilla type flavors were the most frequently appearing at the grocery stores that I viewed or that I visited. So I went on the French website and confirmed that also on the website, caramel and vanilla were the most frequent flavors. This seems like it's adapted to a particular French market. The U.S. website seems to have more vanillas and chocolates. And so I think they've definitely adapted their product to fit this market. And I think Caroline will just, in the conclusion, will sort of tie this all together on the cultural transferability of Hagen-Dazs products. And that's the end of my grocery store presentation, and now we are going to wrap up not the grocery store presentation, but the presentation as a whole. Thanks. Okay, this final section is on our conclusions about the transferability of the Hagen-Dazs brand of product.
So after visiting different Hagen-Dazs locations around Paris and seeing the amount of diversity that can exist just within the city itself, I really believe that Hagen-Dazs' business model is one that is easily transferable to other cultures because they do have this solid brand recognition. Their main line of ice creams is one that is known for its quality and that can be found around the world. I went and bought Hagen-Dazs from grocery stores in Paris many times, and it looked and tasted like the same Hagen-Dazs that you buy here in America. But then outside that brand recognition, they also offer unique products that are appealed to local culture and taste. So for example, some of the products that I was able to find online that I was particularly interested in is they offer mooncakes in China, Taiwan, and Hong Kong, and this is to celebrate the Mid-Autumn Festival. So they're limited released products that have a following in those countries, and you can see a picture of the mooncakes here on the right. And then another product that I was really interested in and would love to try one day is cherry blossom ice cream in Japan for the cherry blossom season there. So these are just two examples that I was able to find. I'm sure they have other examples of unique products that they offer in different cultures. But because of this combination of brand recognition worldwide, as well as being able to offer different products that are going to appeal to local cultures and tastes, I do believe that this is a company that could easily be successful in other countries around the world, which you can see in the fact that they have locations in over 50 countries at this point in time.